Hello, today we're going to explore a simple but powerful relationship in math. This relationship can help us solve certain types of problems. By the end of this video, you will be able to first understand what the expression 2n equals a plus b means. Second, see how it relates to finding the average or midpoint between two numbers. And finally, you'll be able to use this formula to find a missing number when you're given the average in one of the numbers. So let's get started and demystify this equation. Our main focus is this equation, 2n equals a plus b. It looks a little abstract, so let's break down what each part represents. In this expression, a and b are just any two numbers. They can be two of anything: two ages, two prices, two scores on a test. They are your two given values. And what about n? N represents the average of those two numbers, a and b. We often call the average the mean or the arithmetic mean. In simple terms, it's the middle value. So, n is the average of a and b. So the equation 2n plus b is simply a way to say 2 times the average of two numbers is equal to the sum of those two numbers. That's it. Now you might be wondering, why write it this way? Why not just use the standard average formula? And that's a great question. Let's remember the formula for finding the average of two numbers. To find the average, you add the numbers together and then divide by how many numbers you have. For a and b, the average in is equal to a plus b divided by 2. Take a moment to compare this to our formula, 2n equals a plus b. Do you see a connection? Look closely. If we take the average formula, n equals a plus b over 2, and multiply both sides by 2, what happens? On the left, we get 2n. On the right, the 2 in the numerator cancels out the 2 in the denominator, leaving us with a plus b. So we get 2n equals a plus b. They are exactly the same equation, just rearranged. The equation 2n equals a plus b is simply the average formula without the division. It can make solving problems for a missing number a little easier. The beauty of 2n equals a plus b is how easily it lets you find a missing number. You'll often see problems where you're given an average and one number, and you need to find the other. So let's walk through an example. Suppose a student has an average score of 70 on two tests. They scored 65 on the first test. What was their score on the second test? First, let's identify what we know. The average score is 70, so we know n. The score on the first test is 65, so we know a. The average n is 70. The first test score, a, is 65. The second test score, b, is what we need to find. Now we plug these values into our equation to 2n equals a plus b. 2 times 70 equals 65 plus b. Simplifying the left side, we get 140 equals 65 plus b. Our goal is to isolate b, so we subtract 65 from both sides, which gives us bi equals 75. The student scored 75 on the second test. Let's quickly recap what we've learned today. We saw that the equation 2n equals a plus b is a powerful tool for working with the average of two numbers. A and b are your numbers, and n is their average. We learned that this equation is just a rearrangement of the standard average formula, but it often makes solving for a missing number much more straightforward. Now let's test your understanding with a quick interactive question. Ready? A recipe calls for 4 ounces of butter and 8 ounces of flour. What is the average weight of these two ingredients? Think about it for a moment. Using the standard average formula, we add the weights, 4 and 8, and divide by 2. That's 12 divided by 2, which equals 6. The average weight is 6 ounces. And the corresponding equation would be 2n equals 4 plus 8, or 2n equals 12. Solving for n, we get n equals 6. See how it all connects? You now know the basics of the 2n equals a plus b formula. Practice with different numbers, and you'll become a pro at using it to find averages and missing values. Great job!